Now you're supposed to be able to see me. So welcome to the class number 2 here in MiniWord. In this school simulator training, we are going to learn today how to do some basic things. More of the things are going to be related to how to get ideas for creating your map and also how to develop the concept. Also, we are going to start from some building. So first we are going to learn the basic elements about creating a school simulator map. Then we are going to start with some creative techniques. We are going to have some activities, so it's important for you to have some material because you are going to start the process. So for now, we don't need like that much mini word. For now, we are going to just use a notepad or a computer if you have one to just do some basic things to get the main idea of your new map. And later we are going to do some work on it. Also today we are going to start by planning the buildings, planning the constructions for your map. That's very important. Also, just to give you a quick reminder, remember that this is the timeline. We are going to have a total amount of 6 classes. This is the second one. To what it's important for you, we are going to start with the concept development. When you create a map, it's the best thing is to have first clear all the ideas that you want to have or that you are going to do for this map, okay? And the best way to start, that sometimes is going to be the most difficult part, is going to have like a planning about what you are going to do, okay? Most of the industry games or the indie games or even on mods like the ones that you are going to do in MiniWord are going to have like different levels of knowledge and develop for creating a map. You're going to notice that there is a person that is going to be starting by the game because that person has a lot of idea, but those are going to just be like not connected ideas. And when you access to the map, you are going to see a lot of things, but not of them, all of them are like matched together. They don't have like the same objectives. And that's an important thing that we are going to learn here in this class. We are going to learn how to start, how to get the ideas, and how to just create a good project. With this, all your maps are going to have a unity and are going to be noticed by the other players as something that has more like professional end, more like high-handed. When you create a map, you are going to start by a theme. What is a theme? Is the main idea of your map in some short words. As an example, Mario World, it's going to be a platform game about searching a princess. Okay? So the theme is going to be a person that is going to rescue his princess. That's going to be the theme. Now, moving in the same example, what is going to be the game genre? It's like a concept is going to be just the basic idea, but you can play that idea or you can elaborate that idea in a lot of ways. As an example, you can have a simulation game, you can have a fighting game, in which that case, as an example, Mario should fight other players to rescue the princess. You can have a card game in which actually Mario it's going to be moving by cards. You can have like just a music game in which Mario has to complete some songs to rescue the princess. Another important thing is the art style of your game. And that's going to be one of the most important things for me. What is going to be important or why is going to be important? This is the part that gives the needs or the unity for your maps. Because all the parts of your map are going to have the same style. So as an example, if you create a technological map, the music cannot be like medieval because it's going to be kind of weird. And if you are going to use in a dark style on your game, if you place like happy music, it's not going to combine that much. That's what I mean when some players that are starting are having like a lot of ideas, but those ideas are going to be separate ideas or are not going to be together. So that's why you need to have an art style that is going to include the sound, it's going to include the graphics, also the narration and the story. Okay? Another important things are going to be the characters. Remember, the characters are going to be which one or what are going to do for the game. As an example, in the last class we learned how to do a racing map. So the characters were using like or be the cars. Now the scenario. The scenario is very important because we need to know where is going to take place your game. It's not going to be the same to have like Mario example. If you play in a restaurant, it's not going to be that much cool. As an example, if you play in a kingdom, it's going to suit better for the concept. And finally, I think that's the most important thing for me when you create a map, and it's going to be the differential, what you are going to make different to avoid being a lot of normal maps, okay? So as an example, I always place this example. When Among Us was like the main trend, a lot of players start to making Among Us maps. And as you see, guys, you didn't even remember the name of the player or which map was it. You only remember that you played one that was Among Us. And all the maps looks the same. All the maps were having like the same features. Very important, guys, as you want to move your concept and you want to have like more tools to just move your map, make people download it. This is the marketing part, and it's very important. And is when you create a game, you need to think in the person who is going to take or play the game. In this case, it's going to be named as a target group. Okay, so what is a target group? It's the person who's going to play your game. So I always place this example. Imagine that you create the map and you want, for example, for people who likes the metal to play that. And actually the art style, you do it like hip hop map with some hip hop art style. Probably the person that you want to hit with your map that you want the players to play are not going to play it because they don't like the hip hop, they like the metal. And that's the main idea, the simple idea. For this, you need to define which person is going to just play your game. You have to choose or make like an imaginary person and try to develop everything for that person. And something important, the monetization is also something very important. You need to think about how you are going to get that money once you get this target. You can do like ads, you can do like minicons, and think about this. As an example, is going to be just like having an area where you can access and you can get some items, right? Well, think about this. What about if you create a map in which you are going to do parkour and you are going to lose a life each time you die? And in some point, you are going to offer lives to the players. As an example, you see that that's going to be a different way to monetize your game. Very important, don't abuse about the monetization, because if you show ads all the time to the players and you show like something that is showing you to buy or get some items are going to be very frustrating for some players. So don't abuse of that. We are going to start with the part about the school simulation basic elements. Okay, so take note of this once more, guys, because this is elements that your map is going to have a school simulator. Of course, you don't have to place all the elements, that's free for you. It will be nice because you will have a more complete game, but you can choose your own. Remember, I like to see the creativity on you guys. So if you see that you can play something different, it's going to be cool, but this is just a guide. The first one is where our players are going to play. And yeah, of course, the first element is going to be the school. There's no school simulation game, we know the school, it's all like the basic things. And what I mean when I refer to school, let me switch to mini word again. I mean the building in which you take the classes. So let me switch here to creative. All right, it's going to take a little bit. But as you see here, we have more than only the school. The school is going to be this main building, but around the school you are going to have more buildings, you are going to have some stores, you are going to have a parking lot. So yeah, the first element is going to be your school. You have to think about how you're going to test in that school, okay? Now, moving back to the presentation, what do you think is going to be the second element, guys? Well, it's going to be the teachers. But in this case, I mean the player teachers. That's very important because we are going to design some specific features for the teachers. As those are going to be the teachers, they are not going to have the same skills, the same abilities from the students. So probably you already guessed the third element, and it's going to be the students. And you have to create a game and all the features inside it to make the students follow the class, follow the schedule, and just do what the teacher does or order the teacher, okay? So the second element is going to be the teacher, the students. Now, important things, the rooms are going to be the third element. And what are going to be the rooms? In those games, we are going to be able to actually have a room or have a house inside the school or around the school. As an example of this one is those are going to be inside the school. So it's just all this part, and it's very important to design that, because with that you will be able to also get some extra money and give some extra features to the players, because the players are going to be able to decorate the home, to interact with their home, and just play whatever they want to do with the home. Okay, so now we are going to go for the next element, and it's going to be something that is not physical like the previous elements, and it's going to be the schedule for the classes. So in my map, I do a complete amount of 5 classes. The first one is a free room. In this one, the teacher that is going to be the player, not an NPC, will be able to give any kind of order to the students, and they need to follow that order, okay? The second class, it's going to be the chemical class. And in this one, the teacher and also this specific chemistry teachers are going to make the players make some basic elements here on the ovens, and also are going to do some cool items that they can use to change the way that they look, that they jump. The third class that I place in this map is going to be a music class, in which players can compose some melodies using some basic in-game maps. And you get the idea. So you need to create a schedule and the classes. So in my map, when you play, let me show you the example. Just a second, let me show you the example directly in game, so you will be able to see the mini word. All right. So as you see, when you switch to mini word, you are going to see in the top right here that we are in the free class. So with this, we can make the player have some basic elements. So the player will need to assist to the class. And if that player doesn't assist to the class, the teacher can punish the player, and the player is going to be sent to the room. So as soon as this timer expires, it's going to have the next class, and we have a schedule for each class. So just playing with which kind of classes you are going to have in your map, okay? Now let's move back to the presentation. All right, so now we are going to define which is the class. Now we are going to see what is going to be different. And another cool element that we are going to have for this map is going to be the mini games, okay? And what are going to be the mini games? Just simple things that players can do together to compete or to play together just for free. As an example, in my map, you are going to have some breaks and also free time and lunch. So players can actually do whatever they want on the map, and they can play some basic games. Let me show you back into the screen. You're now supposed to see the screen, so let me play as a student and let me show you again. Just a second, I'm going to re-enter the map. Okay. So in the free time, or in the breaks, or in the time after school, as an example, you can go and play soccer in the soccer field as a student. Also, the teachers can play with the students, but just let me show you. So, as an example, we have the first mini game here. That is going to be just a racing field. And when you start racing, you're going to earn some money that you can use later to exchange for some items. As an example here, each time that I complete a lap on here, it's going to give me an extra point, okay? Check this. And as you see, while I'm working here, or while I'm running around, there's also the soccer field, which is another mini game, okay? Let me show you. We're going to complete the first lap so players can compete, and the player that goes first is going to get here a coin. As you see, I get a coin right here. Also, when you access to the soccer field, you can play the football mini game, with other players. So in the free time, you will be able to perform another activities, you know, and you can actually create a lot of mini games. Also, there are going to be some specific items that are going to be interactive, okay? So what is important about these interactive items? That you will be able to create some extra experiences for the players. So let me show you the next thing that is going to be the NPC teachers. And that's very important because in the game we will have like some specific missions. As an example, if you speak with the discipline teacher, it can tell you to just, as an example, recover all of the garbage from the floor. And if you complete that specific task, you are going to get more items, okay? Also, those teachers can sell you some tradable items. So, as an example, let me show you here again, back in game. So, if I go to this teacher, I can get a soccer ball in case I lose the soccer ball on the field. And also I can get some interactive items like this one that allow me to just create some effects and make the players feel. So as an example, if I actually do I place the ball in the score net, I can also do this effect by myself. And depending on the player, is going to have like different items. As an example here, yeah, you get the point. So if you go to the dining room, you are going to get some food. If you go to the swimming teacher, you are going to get items to swim. If you get to the volley, you are going to get some items to just moving around, like or do some illegal things in the school. And yeah, that's the idea about the NPCs and the teachers, to provide missions and to also provide you some extra features in the game, okay? And the last thing that is going to be important is going to be the special items. So in the map, right now, you will be able to get some specific items. As an example, the first one are going to be just normal items that are going to be useful. With those items, you can, as an example, get an extra layer to the game. So as this is a graffiti school, you have a graffiti can that you can use to paint all the school as you want it, like an example. Or you can get some other items that are going to be just normal items, not that much interactive, but are going to be cool items like this one. That is going to be a purple plane that you can just use when you're in class to just, make the teacher go mad or just play with other players. And as those are like interactive items, you are going to have more items in the store that you can get. As an example, to give some gifts to the players. So as an example here in the gift store, you can give a heart to a player, and that player is going to receive a message that says that someone is in love with him. Or you can get a rose, you can get a teddy bear to show friendship. That's something important that you can place on game, okay? So moving back to the game, to the presentation, sorry. Those are going to be the basic elements that compose a basic school simulator game, okay? So if you want to take notes of them, please go ahead. Remember that you just can take the notes, and with that you are going to have all the elements present. Also remember that this is going to be saved, this specific live streaming, so you can access later and check back those. And also we are going to submit an edited video with just the tutorial, so you can check on that one also, that information, okay? So let's move to an important thing, okay guys? And it's going to be the creative techniques. So what is a creative techniques? To be honest, guys, to be creative in the life, most of the times you, as a normal person, are going to have, like in Spanish we say chispazos, like sparkles. And that means that you are just getting ideas, like you are always working on the street and from nowhere you get an idea, you say, oh, this is a good idea, I'm going to do it. What happens is that in real life, that doesn't happen that much times. So if you have to do something, if you want to be very creative, you need to use some creative techniques. It's going to do the things better, because imagine that you have to wait for these sparkles, these chispazos to happen, and they just didn't happen. So you are going to probably have to wait a lot of time. So the creative techniques are like mental techniques that will allow you to create more, more, more content, and that it will allow you to create ideas faster. So, what are going to be these ones? The first one, and one of the most common ones, are going to be like divided in different tasks. So first is going to be the brainstorming. And the brainstorming is to pass or to work from the first part. So you are just in front of a blank screen or in a blank game, and you have no idea what you want to do, but you want to do something. With this technique, you can get the main idea, like the first start, the first like impulse to start creating the game. And how it works. It's something that is very used on companies and also in schools, on every kind of creative works. For this one, the best is to have some players, and remember guys, it's very important. If you can actually just have like a team with other players, with another players that you can join together to create in common just a map, it's going to be much better, because you are going to have more time, or you are going to be more professional, because we are good and I see really good maps. But you are not the best in everything. As an example, my best ability is to create the scripts. But probably modeling is not going to be my best ability. So if I get with a player and work together with a player that creates very good models, it's going to be like a more creative or more powerful map, because that person covers that part. So for this, I recommend you to work in teams. And now, of course, for now, we are going to do it just alone. But what is the main idea of a brainstorming? What you are going to do is you are going to sit in front of a whiteboard. If you are in like connecting by internet, you just can take notes in somewhere. And what you do is just sitting and thinking. And as an example, player one is going to say, "Oh, what about if we do a fighting game?" So you take note. We are going to do a fighting game. And player two says, "Oh, okay. And yes, a fighting game with showers." And so you're going to take note with showers. And player number three says, "Okay, and we can use some mounts." The main idea is like don't be critics, just take notes of all ideas at the beginning. When it's very important, because that's going to allow the players to, or the other persons that are going to be in your team, like give the free opinion, and with that you are going to find actually very good ideas. Okay, so don't judge the ideas now. We are going to do it later. And it's very important that each person is going to have a different like specialization. Of course, you can do a brainstorming by yourself. Just sit in a front of a whiteboard and just take notes of all the ideas that cross your mind. Doesn't matter if it's a good idea or a bad idea. We are not judging the ideas. You are going just to take note. Once you take notes of all the ideas, you need to decide which ideas are going to be good and which ideas are going to be like not that good and are going not to be very useful. Okay, so that's where our second part. Remember, all these creative techniques are going to work together. So that's where our second creative techniques is going to start. Okay, so you already got like the ideas, the basic ideas. You already have like an idea after thinking with the team. The next one, it's going to be the this one that is going to be a mind map. So what is a mind map? A mind map is just a simple thing. It's just a canvas that connects some ideas, some words. Those ideas are going to be saved in words. And why is important? Because this is going to give you an overview of what you are going to do. So as an example, in the first brainstorm, we create, or we get the idea to create, let's say, a flying simulator game, okay? So you already have the idea, and the flying simulator game is going to be with transformable fighters, and it's going to take in the space, okay? And it's going to be a fighting game, okay? We already have that ideas, but we need to now start to just do the planation and just like saying like this, like placing in real project, in real words, what we are going to do with that, we are going to have an overview, because as I mentioned, that is going to be a fighting game in the space that is going to have transformable fighters. We'll let a lot of things. As an example, how many players, if we need to have a specific card, if we can do it, and all the things like that, okay? So, to be able to do this, I personally recommend to use a piece of paper and just a pencil, because getting away from the screens when you are creating an idea is going to be much better, because in the screens we are going to have a lot of distractions. As an example, if a player talks to you in Discord, you are going to be distracted and you are not going to focus on what you have to do. So if you can just turn off your computer when you are going to do that and just do some draws on the paper, it's going to be nice, and it's going to be much faster and much cooler. For now, as I mean, so in this one, you have to register with Facebook, or you can use your Google account. Once you open this, you will be able to see this screen. If it's going to ask you for get a plan, so just select the personal plan. With that, you are going to get some free. Of course, it's going to have some limitations, but for now, it's going to work for us. Also, I recommend you once more to use your own one, okay? So how it's going to be a mind map? A mind map, let me switch to full screen so you will be able to see all the things that I see here. All right, so as an example, we are going to create a craftable or a transformable we are going to place a name for it as an example. So we have first to get a name, and then we are going to connect more ideas to the main idea, okay? So as an example, for this one, we need another idea that is going to be, first, which kind of airships we are going to have. Cool. What else we need to do again? We need to have a scenario. We are going to need another thing that we are going to need, some skills for the players. Correct? And another one that we are going to require for this one, as an example, is going to be, I don't know, like the monetization. And as you see, it's going to just give you like small ideas around this main idea. And then what you are going to do is to just create more ideas inside that one. So for instance, as an example, in skills, I need some skills. So the first one is going to be skills for the airship. The second one is going to be skills for the robot modes. You also will need some skills for heal yourself. And as an example on here, you can add more ideas. So now that you have clear that you are going to have some skills for them, you can start by doing the next thing. You are going to do, as an example, skills. The first skill for the airship is going to be to have a turbo. The second skill that you are going to have is, as an example, to have evasion. The third one, as is going to be an airship, is going to be to launch rockets. And as you see, guys, you are going to start growing, and you are going to have more and more ideas, and you are going to have like a mental map about what you are going to do, okay? So for this, I didn't show you like an example of the school simulator because I want you to think by yourself about what we are going to do. Of course, in a scenario, we can place some ideas. It needs to have in a planet, as an example. On the planet, we also are going to have some technology. And as you see, guys, this allows you to have like your mind very clear, and you are going to get the ideas very easy because you are going to work with some relations about what we are going to do. Okay, so until the moment we get the idea, as an example in airships, let's place rebels and also the empire. Okay, so as an example, as you see here, we are going to construct our game in base about some ideas. With this, we are going to have clear what we want to do, and later we are going to be able to just specify which or what kind of situations we are going to create around to be able to just work together and have the best game. Okay, so until the moment, at first we check how to get the main idea, then we check how to implement more ideas around that area and have a more specific idea of what the game is going to be like. Finally, it comes the third one. And now that we already have the idea and we have the elements that are going to compose that idea, our map is probably a normal map. So this is like a little bit disappointing, but yes, as probably a lot of people has been thinking about the same idea that you think, we need to now to give like a different look, a different idea, a different differential, for saying like that, to be a little bit disruptive with the idea that we have. So just imagine in this example about the cards, until the moment we have a card game, a normal card game, okay? Probably with some cool graphics, but we doesn't have been like too away from the original concept. And which actually makes a map creative or a map to be unique is to have something that no other players will have. That's where the innovation takes place. So the third technique is going to be the one that will allow you to take all the previous steps and create something really, really different. And there is a technique that is called Scramper. Scramper is like just like stands for the what you are going to do with your ideas, and it's very simple. It's just a simple step-by-step checklist in which you are going to apply to the different ideas that we create on the previous steps. And what we are going to do is to take the idea, and then we are going to follow some steps, and following those steps, we are going to find some alternatives that are going to be very cool, okay? Then the name of the technique is going to be Scramper. Scramper stands for the initial letters of the next elements, and it's going to be substitute, combine, adapt, modify, eliminate, and reorder. So what you are going to do is you are going to take some of the ideas that we made in the previous steps, and we are going to just do a checklist of it, okay? So as an example, remember that we have this idea about, as an example, have the airships. We are going to have the rebels and the empire, all right? So we are going to start with substitute. So substitute stands for substitute things, places, procedures, people, ideas, and functions and schedules. As an example, we have the empire, okay? Let's start with the rebels better. So the rebels, most of the times in games, are going to be the secondary factions. They are not going to have that much technology in comparison of the empire, but they fight and they are like the heroes of the game. So we can substitute some things, okay? So as an example, in this case, instead of placing the players, the rebels as the like the heroes, we can make it be the bad people, okay? And most of the time the rebels are going to be the humans, but what about if we substitute the rebels as humans as machines? So imagine in a game in which actually the rebels are some machines that are fighting for the freedom, just to be able to just have their own freedom from the players, but the way they are doing, they are going to be the bad people. So as you see, we just with the first activity, we are changing the way that our map is going to look, and it's going to take a new idea. Now, let's do the same thing but with the second one, combine. So we can combine themes, ideas, or emotions. As an example, we have the rebels that are going to be machines and are going to be the bad people. Now we are going to combine that machines with animals. So those machines actually get like a lot of technology, and right now the machines are like half of like a bionic one and half organic. So there are like some parts with flesh and some parts with metal. So that's going to be like a combination of the two ideas. Now we are going to adapt some idea from another context. So an example, we have those animal machines that are the rebels, but are the villains at the same time. Now we are going to adapt an idea from another context. As an example, they are going to, most of them in the games, the machines are going to be darker, are going to use dark colors. We are going to use like a unicorn color, okay? So imagine a unicorn vomiting some rainbow. That's going to be like the like the flag of the rebels. And what we are going to do is that the humans are going to be, of course, the dark people. So we have some villains that have a lot of colors that are half machines and half animals. Okay, so as you see, just by taking those ideas, we are just moving our idea to something to completely original. And that's what we have to do on these kind of situations to have a very original game, okay? Of course, so as an example, modify. So we are going to we already modified and adapt. Now we are going to eliminate some things. Most of the games, the machines are going to have weapons and are going to have smartest intelligence. So we are going to remove, as an example, the weapons. So those machines actually are not able to hurt the players, but they will be able to use another kind of things to just make the things harder for the players. As an example, they cannot use like weapons, but they can use virus that can affect the players. And now we are going to use the reorder. So we can invert some elements, we can change the places. So instead of taking place in the earth, we can take place in a, let's see, in let's see, say other planet, and this other planet is actually going to be not like a chaotic planet. It's going to be a planet that is like medieval. So we have like medieval planets in which players are going to be like having machines made by some basic things like wood or things like that, and the machines are going to be some combination with machines. So as you see, it's like turning every time a little bit more unique and more different than any other game that you have been worked together. So just by following those ideas, as you see, we can create something really original, and we turn a normal game into something unique. And as I show you for the example, we are only taking just the name of the faction to get some ideas and create something unique. So now we have the three techniques. The one that is going to be brainstorming to get the main idea. The second one that is going to be the main map to just order the ideas and have like an structures on your ideas. And the third one that is going to be the Scramper that is going to make your map unique, okay? So now we are going to stop talking and we are going to do a practice, okay? So in the map, in the screen, you are going to see the next activity, okay? And we are going to take 5 minutes for this one. I need you guys, and please be honest with this and try to do it. We are going to write 8 main ideas, okay? Don't worry for the ideas, don't judge the ideas. We are going to create just the concept or the theme. I know that probably it's hard to think, I know that at the beginning it's very hard to get the ideas. So the first one is going to be a school simulator for me. That is going to, I'm just going to do exercise with you because I want you to check how it works. From superheroes. The second one is going to be a school simulator for dancing. Okay? The third one is going to be a school simulator medieval. The third one is going to be a school simulator in the space, or a spatial one. The third one is going to be a school simulator for fashion. The next one is going to be a school simulator. Let's think. As you see, for the first ideas is very easy. But in more ideas that you get, more harder it's going to get an idea. And that's very important because I'm going to show you what we are going to do later. Let's say a school simulator for for restaurants, a school simulator for monsters, and finally a school simulator for soldiers. Alright guys, so those are going to be my ideas, probably are going to be completely different to yours. Where our next step is that we are going to remove the 3 or the first 5 ideas. If you want to be really creative, remove just the first 5. If you want to have like a little bit more of like control or space to decide, just select just the last 5 ideas. But the first 3 ideas, please delete it. Just get rid of them. To be honest, so that's not going to be creative because all players already think about it, are going to be the most common ideas. So probably you are going to be part of the noise. You are going to do a common map that everyone already does, okay? So I'm just going to copy and paste the ideas that we have. And is that we are going to rate our ideas starting from 1 to 3. 1 is going to mean, and that is bad. 2, regular, or 3 is going to be very good. And the topics are going to be the next one. So we are going to rate first the ideas by original. So did you think the school in this space is going to be original? For me, it's going to be like it's going to be like not that much creative. So, but it's going to be actually more than the average. Okay, so we are going to place a 2. Now we are going to go to catchy. Catchy means that if it's something that makes the players want to play. So as an example, there are going to be some ideas that are going to be like very originals, but it's not going to be that cool for the players. So that's what you need to check with catchy. So space is going to be catchy. Of course, it's going to be catchy. So it's going to have a 3. Third one is going to be simple. Okay, so why I mentioned this before? Because as you are going to work in a map, if you overcomplicate things, if the mechanics are going to be too hard to learn or to practice, it's not going to be that nice because most of the players are not going to understand what you do. And that's something that is very common because as you create a map, you will know how it works. But most of the players are going to do completely different things, but because they don't even read the rules, okay? So, a school simulator for a space is going to be simple. Yes, for me. Now, let's move to realistic. And what I mean when it's realistic, evaluate your idea. And I don't mean if the idea is realistic, I mean if you will be able to do it. You need to be realistic. If you create a restaurant map, you have the skills to do it. You know how to create some scripts. And if the idea that you are trying to do, it's also possible, that's what you have to think about it. Okay? So in my case, I know how to do the skills, but for me, it's not going to be very positive the restaurant experience because I really don't know how to implement some features, or I didn't like it actually, so I'm not going to put that much effort. About the fighting game, now the artistic part, your ideas are going to be artistic. So the school in the space, I can do a lot of art, so it's going to be a 3 on artistic. Now, it's going to be enjoyable. Players are going to enjoy the experience, so just place into fits of your players. Now that you have all the punctuations for your maps, you need to just do a calculation, okay? Okay, guys, so as you see right here, we have a clear winner. Of course, we also have some like drawing here, but of course we can just delete this one because this one is going to be actually not the best idea. So this one is going to be out, okay? Now, the best idea, according to my punctuation, is going to be this one, okay? So that's the one that probably we are going to do. Yeah, I see. Also, that happens. Sometimes you are going to be a player that in your style, in your creation map style, you are more focused on some specific part. So in my case, I more focus in simple, be enjoyable, and be original. I didn't like do too much in artistic part or in realistic part. It's my personal like focus. So find yours. Probably if as Kenzie is playing in the comments, you are a player that likes more a couple of things. Probably you have a lot of skills in the artistic part, so focus on that part if you think that is your focus. In my case, I'm going to choose this one because it's the one that I think is going to be the best one, okay? So we have the winner idea here that is going to be a school simulator for monsters. Okay, so what is going to be the activity? But this one is going to be for your home, okay? So that's going to be the homework. I want you to do a homework because, you know, guys, I know that you have the talents and I just want you to process all the process because I really enjoy when I play your maps. It's like make me feel like a little bit happy to know that you're creating good maps with the things that I'm teaching you. So when you show me your maps, I really get a good sensation about it. So what is going to be this one? Now that we ranked the ideas, what I need you to do, guys, is to just do um, like all the requirements for develop your idea, okay? So the homework is going to be that you have to create a mind map. Remember the mind map? This one. So I need you to create that one for the idea that you develop. Of course, you need to finish in all the process that we create, okay? Remember that you can use a notepad or you can use the website if you want to take note of it. I'm going to send it again into the comments section in the chat. So you will have access to it, okay? So now, what was going to be the activity for your home? Because we don't have like that much time left. You are going to create your own mind map with all the elements, ideas that will require, and we are going to include the elements. So what we are going to do is that you are going to do the 3 techniques for creating the idea that you made, and you are going to do the mental map for the school, for the teachers, for the students, for the room, for the minigames, for the NPC, sorry, the teachers and the special items, okay? Remember, it's going to be rather or better to have quality than quantity, okay? That's very important, guys. It's rather or better to have quality on your content than have quantity. So if you want to create just 3 elements for each one, it's going to be much better if those are very original and very creative than creating like 10 teachers that are going to be very plain, okay? So now what you're going to do is that when you create that specific element, when you create a mind map about it, you're going to apply the second technique that is going to be Scramper. Remember Scramper? This one. Yeah, you are going to take those elements and you are going to use this specific checklist to change your ideas, okay? That's very important. Yeah, and if you're not understanding apart from the homework you're going to do for the next class, just let me know, okay? Also remember this, guys. I know that the Discord link is like expired, okay? So I'm going to place a new Discord link. But if you want to do some questions on there, If you want to have some answers during the week about this process, just join to the Discord channel and ask me the questions on there, okay? And I will be able to answer you guys to give you all the information that you need. So once you have all of them, with the next class, we are going to be able to start to construct our map, okay? So just give me a second. I'm just getting the Discord information. All right, a second here. All right, give me a second. Okay, I got it. All right, so check the comments right now. Sorry, not the comments, the real-time chat. I'm going to send you the link to be able to join to the Discord channel, okay? All right. So there is the link, and yeah. So that's the homework that you're going to do. Now, let me explain very quickly in the remaining time what we are going to do. And finally, we get to the point in which we are going to start to creating the planning or the different parts that your school is going to have. Okay, so some quick elements. We need first to have like scheme about how your school is going to be located, okay? Most common parts on this is to do not that big map. Remember that mini-world you can do a bigger maps, but the experience with the players is not going to be the best because they are going to be loose. They are going to start searching for where they can do some specific things. It's better to have small things so the players can go straight to the point and can play together. So try your descent and don't build it very big. We are going to have some elements on it. The first one is going to be the rooms. In my case, the rooms are going to be in this area. Also, as this is a class item, we are going to have a classrooms. We are going to have a lobby. A lobby is very important. It's the thing that you are going to design at the end. Because when you design all the items, you will be able to place those in the lobby and you will be able to design which items are going to be interactive, what items are the player are going to be able to get a bulk. Now, important things, you are going to place a store area where the players are going to be able to get some items. And you're going to place the interactive area where the players can play the minigame. Of course, that is my scheme. If you want to do something different, as an example, you want to do the rooms at this size and yeah, whatever thing you want to do, just do it. But remember to plan first. Once you have the sketch, just like the elements that you want to use. Oh, I see. Well, it met, right? Met. So shipment. You can access to the last class in just checking the channel. You are going to have the links in the channel to access the last class. This is more important than the last one because the last one was like more the presentation and what we are going to do. But in the just assist to the previous class by just checking in the links and subscribe to this channel so you are not going to lose or miss the next. Okay? And yeah, welcome to the class. So moving back to the presentation, I need you to design the room, to design all the elements on it. So we will be able to actually have like an overview of what we are going to like or what we are going to do, okay? So include those elements, include also special areas. In the areas, I just want you to surprise me, to do something original that I didn't show you, so you can do whatever you want in the special areas. But at least I need you to have those elements, the elements that I'm going to highlight. Yeah, of course, the lobby, the classroom, the rooms for players to sleep or to decorate, the interactive area, and the stores, okay? So, to be able to play in this, I recommended to use or to get some images from the internet that you can use as an inspiration to design your room or your class. Those are going to be the ones that I just used to create my map. So let me show you in real screen. Okay, now you're supposed to be able to see my mini world screen, and as you see, I used those elements to design my own map because I like this minimalistic architecture. I like the way that the color gets like the contrast with the white, and that's why I use those colors. So let me show you a little bit the architecture. As you see, it's going to be very similar to the images that you were seeing on the screen before. It's like having a big edge, big like spokes of blocks, just with cubic forms. It's going to have a contrast between color and white space. So depending on your map, of course, you are going to have different inspirations. This is the one that I take for my map. And yeah, probably just you assist to the previous classes, the previous lessons about the card system. So let me show you like the where I take the inspiration from. Once again, one of the best things that you can do is to use Pinterest. I don't know if you know Pinterest, guys, but Pinterest is, for me, one of the best websites that I use for get some inspiration about architecture or whatever you want. So yeah, as you see here, you can place just a theme. I don't know, let's say monsters. Like the one that we did before, and on there you are going to check some inspiration. Of course you need to search, but as this is going to show you some images, you can get the architecture from there. So as an example, as if imagine that we are going to create a monster team, so we can use some Gothic architecture because it's related with monsters, and on here you can get some inspiration for the designs that you are going to do for your bowling. I don't know if, as an example, if I choose military, like the soldier team. All right, let me see. Yeah, you're going to get some military architecture that you can use for your map, okay? And try to save those images, just as the example that I showed you before. I always do like a pin with all the images. As an example here, there we have another colorful effects. And just to show you, I also search like a Viking school. So as an example, you can see third information. I see. So have a good breakfast too. So enjoy your breakfast. So yeah, and that's what you need to start thinking about to create your map, okay? I need you to think about what kind of elements you are going to place in architecture too. So with that, your map is going to look more cool, and it's not going to look like a noisy map, a map that anyone can do, because you are going to have a special architecture, and you just can follow the architecture. Okay. So guys, class is going to be over right now. In the next class, we are going to learn how to create and how to start to boolean, and we are going to learn some boolean techniques. I don't know if you have some questions. If you still have some remaining questions, just let me know in the comments, and I will be more than happy to answer it, okay? And yeah, also remember that my UID is right on there. If you want to send me an invitation, I will be more than happy to just add you as my friends. But remember that I receive a lot of invitations, so if you are going to do it, just remember to access to the Discord channel and let me know that you are going to add me, so I will be able to be pending to it and just accept invitations when I receive it. Okay? So remember, Pinterest also can be used as an application, so you can download it, or you can use just the website version too. And yeah, guys, that's going to be 8 for now. Oh, I see. Truly sorry that your speaker is broken. Remember that this class is going to be submitted once more, so just check later in this channel, and you will be able to see actually the actual class again. So don't worry for that, okay? If you can hear me, of course, because probably you are not able to hear me very well. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much once more for assisting the class. Remember, the next class is going to be in the next weekend at the same time and in the same channel, okay? So subscribe to the channel and yeah, add this notification so you will be able to just be able to play it. Okay, sure. If you want to send me your link, I will be able to play your map. So please give me your UID, Kenzie. So I will be more than happy to check your map. And yeah, guys, for now, thank you so much for assisting the class. Remember, my name is YeyoCore in game. And yeah, it was a pleasure to stay with you guys. And I hope we are going to create a cool map this time also, okay? So I have high expectations about you guys because the last class, well, you really surprised me with your maps. So I really enjoy it, okay? So bye guys.